Welcome to Lesson 3, Investigating Quadrilaterals. A quadrilateral is any closed shape with four sides. By closed shape, we mean one where all four sides intersect. They close the shape. This, for example, would not be a closed shape because we see that there is an opening over here. The two most common examples of quadrilaterals are squares and rectangles. What makes a square is the fact that it has four congruent sides, four sides of equal length, and four right angles. We talked about right angles in lesson 2. What makes a rectangle is the fact that it has opposite sides that are of equal length. So these two sides are of equal length, and these two sides are of equal length. And again, just like the square, it has four right angles. So think about what I just said. I said a rectangle has opposite sides that are of equal length and four right angles. Now let's look at the square. Does a square have opposite sides that are of equal length? Yes. And does it have four right angles? Yes, it does. So that would mean that every square is a rectangle. But not every rectangle is a square. Only rectangles that have four equal sides are squares. Let's look at two other examples of quadrilaterals. On the left we see a rhombus. Now a rhombus is similar to a square that it has four equal sides. But a rhombus also has opposite pairs of parallel sides. So these two sides are parallel, and these two sides are parallel. With a parallelogram, it's more like a rectangle where opposite sides are the same length, not four equal sides like in a rhombus. But just like a rhombus, we have opposite sides that are parallel. And I don't mean to confuse you by erasing the hatch marks. We just don't usually show hatch marks for equal sides and parallel sides on the same shape. That's why I erased them. So here we have a rhombus with four equal sides and opposite sides that are parallel, and here we have a parallelogram with opposite sides that are of equal length and opposite sides that are parallel. Another type of quadrilateral is called a trapezoid. A trapezoid is, as you can see here, a four-sided shape where you have possibly two sides that are of equal length. They don't have to be though, but usually this is the kind of trapezoid that we are used to seeing. And then you have two sides that are parallel to one another. So one pair of parallel sides in a trapezoid. There is an unlimited amount of shapes that we can have as quadrilaterals because any four-sided shape is a quadrilateral. This is another quadrilateral that we can call a kite. And in a kite shape, we have adjacent sides that are of equal length. So by adjacent, we mean sides that are right next to each other. So this long side and this long side are next to each other, and they are of equal length. And this shorter side and this shorter side are adjacent to one another, and they are of equal length. So a kite has two pairs of equal adjacent sides. Here's another quadrilateral. I want you to pause the video for a second and think about what would you name this quadrilateral. Out of all the names you've learned so far, rectangle, square, parallelogram, rhombus, trapezoid, kite, what do you think it would be? So pause the video. Once you have an answer, come back. Let's look at the sides. We don't have any parallel sides, But we do have these two sides of being of equal length, and we have these two sides being of equal length. And these sides are not opposite sides, but they are adjacent sides. This side and this side are adjacent, meaning next to each other, and this side are adjacent, also meaning next to each other. So therefore, what we are looking at here is a kite. Even though it looks a little different than the kite you saw in the previous example, because it fits the definition, it still is a kite. So here we have a variety of quadrilaterals. We have, of course, our trapezoid here with one pair of parallel sides. We have, this is not any specific type of quadrilateral, it has no parallel sides, it has no sides of equal length, but because it has four sides, it still is a quadrilateral. A parallelogram, which is kind of like a tilted rectangle, opposite sides that are parallel, and opposite sides that are of equal length. Here's a rectangle, opposite sides of equal length, and four 90-degree angles, and a square where we have all equal sides, four right angles, and a rhombus, four equal sides, and no equal angles, or actually opposite angles are equal, but don't worry about that right now. It's kind of like a tilted square. So please ask your teacher if you have any questions, review the video if you need to, and enjoy your math.